help me. Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. This is a brand new series. I'm kicking off. I want to just have short videos and just exploring one question, but the question will have, different scenarios. And then I want to get your opinion. That's all of your opinions. There is no wrong think with me. All of your opinion. I'm an intellectual. All of you all can give me your complete opinions. So what are we talking about today? Well, be sure to like, subscribe to the video. I also have merch, t-shirts. Especially, I'm very proud of my For Blacks, for Whites, for Women, for Men, for Humans. That's out right now. I think everybody should wear that. Okay, so what are we looking at? We're looking at, so the general question is, do women really want equality? That's the general question. You can run away with that answer in the comment section. Be sure to like the video. Today we're talking about, should a woman be charged rent? So that's the question about equality, right? Should a woman be charged rent? So according to today is my birthday. It is also my dog's birthday. The local animal hospital sent an email to my dog wishing him a happy birthday. His name is Anubis. It's also, very interestingly, my mother's birthday. I'm hitting a big number today, so I'm not going to go into that. Okay, according to the all-female talk show, The Real, old-fashioned women shouldn't be charged rent even if they're just girlfriends. In a question submitted to the show, it was asked online that a man is buying a new house and moving in with his girlfriend. Should he charge her rent? That's the question. The women of The Real chimed in and concluded that no, even though she's a girlfriend, she's acting like a wifey. Their words, not mine. And since the women in The Real are all old-fashioned, the man has to foot the bill for everything, and she shouldn't have to pay anything, and she shouldn't be charged for her rent. Now, I thought we put this whole question of women being freeloaders to rest. Remember, the only time women got to be freeloaders was when one man, her father, handed her off to another man, her new husband, and she didn't work. There was no time where a woman back in those days was free, living by herself alone. She was always be under the supervision of some sort of man, be it her father or her husband. There was no time where she was just single. That was, so when you're talking about old-fashioned, let's talk old-fashioned. You weren't in charge of your life as a woman. That's old-fashioned. Your father handed you off to your husband at the wedding, and that was it. That's when things changed hands. And the husband, the suitor, would come and ask the father, could he court and marry you before anything even happened. All right. So if we're going to talk about I'm old-fashioned, let's talk about I'm old-fashioned. I'm old-fashioned. Do you hear me, ladies? I'm old-fashioned. So if you want to bring up I'm old-fashioned around me, you're talking to an actually old-fashioned person. I spent some years living around my grandmother, right, when I was a child. So when we're talking about old-fashioned, we're talking about, I'm going back 2 generations up the chain, right? Now, there is no instance where a working woman with a salary got to simply live scot-free. The court system is super slow to catch on to this notion, and hence the decay of family courts into utter chaos, incentivizing women to mooch off of their boyfriends or husbands, aka using his children as hostages and blackmailing him. But they're catching on, the courts that is, that women now work. It's surprise, surprise. And in some cases make more money than the men. Most people are shocked to find that the family court is still 100 years behind in its thinking that women don't work, don't make money, should work to pay their own bills. Does that shock you that the court is just now figuring this out? By law, the court is still operating on an 1800s sort of system. When the court catches up to the actual women's groups, the feminism and all that sort of stuff, that women are independent and they can make their own money and so forth and so on, I believe it's going to be a huge shock to the system because the court is still operating under the thought that women don't have jobs, don't make money. And I'm not talking about what the judges sitting on the bench actually say. The judges know, but the law doesn't know, right? You understand what I'm talking about? But that is the case in family court. Family courts believe that women don't work, don't make money, can't go to work, can't pay their own bills, and so they're still handing down judgments against the boyfriend or men, forcing the men to pay for the woman as if the woman were still in the 1800s and can't and don't work. The truth of the matter is that the days of men requiring their wives not to work, that's still a thing, to be able to stay home and take care of the children, are dwindling fast. Those days are dwindling fast. And finding a woman capable of balancing a single budget of her husband and running a household on that single budget is also dwindling, which is what women used to be able to do. Do you understand what I just said? A lot of you might not even understand what I just said. A lot of you young people, under 20, all you youngsters under me, I'm an old timer. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, I didn't live in that time period, but I understand that it used to be the case that the house ran under one budget. That was one income that came from the husband. And the wife would take the money that the husband brought home and she would budget everything into that one income. That's all your food, all of your clothing, all of your housewares, all of your cleaning products, all of your dining out once a month or once a week, whatever you're doing, or however you got it, all of your rent, power, your water, garbage, all of that stuff. A woman would budget all of that. Now, there were some women who didn't even do that. The husband did all of that. So when we're talking about old fashioned, let's talk about old fashioned. There were husbands, even up into the 50s, who the woman didn't touch anything. Nothing. All she did was stuff like sew and knit and stuff like that. The feminist ideology that promoted women into working and making their own money also dramatically downplayed women being home, raising the kids, and definitely didn't even mention balancing the household budget. In fact, they got home economics removed from schools across the nation. You would be hard-pressed to even find a textbook still printed covering the subject. And if you really want to know something about that, you should go and buy a textbook. I will try and find an Amazon textbook talking about home economics, so you could actually see the nitty-gritty of how to actually budget a household. A lot of you living today with a very modest income should be very happy to find such a book and read it and see how you can stretch a penny. We're talking about that's what wives used to do. Every penny, they would stretch every penny to cover everything and still have a good life. Gone are the days where the wife could sew, cook, repair clothing, wash and press clothing, mend cloth, furniture, and do arts and crafts to decorate the home. Those days are over. In fact, now we're actually seeing on YouTube videos of men doing all of that stuff. And the old 60-year-old, 80-year-old women in their little sewing circle are now welcoming men to the circle. Why? Because the women aren't coming. The girls aren't coming. Men are doing it. Knitting circles, men are coming. Men. And And the old women are welcoming them. There's the more the merrier. Whoever wants to do it, come do it. Because we don't want to lose these skills, this art, this craft, right? I have personally met women who were incapable of even conceiving of doing those things and took it as a personal insult if you asked them if they knew how to cook, clean, sew. My next door neighbor, 74, I asked her, does she know how to sew? She says, no, I don't know how to sew. I'm from California. Oh, wow. Imagine a human that gets insulted that you ask them if they know how to cook. That's pretty crazy. Most people now are very well expecting a woman to pay her own way, buy her own food, pay her own rent. There was a lady in the comments section talking about, well, why on earth would I pay my boyfriend a rent to help with his mortgage? I could just pay that somewhere else where I could live by myself and pay my. And then another lady in the comments pointed out, hey, so you are saying that you would pay money to some stranger to support the stranger's mortgage, but you won't pay to support your own boyfriend's mortgage, whom you supposedly love, and who would probably be much cheaper because now you don't have all of these deposits and all of these fees that you're having to pay. But no, her idea was, man romantically involved with her must pay for everything. This is 2020 we're talking about. Of course, the video is from 2019, but this is 2020 we're talking about, that a woman says that a man should pay. Y'all, y'all. Even so, regardless of the feminist talking points, most new mortgages taken out are still done by men, which the women of The Real acknowledged. That's the name of the show, The Real. It's a horrible name. You don't know that you're talking about a show when you say The Real. You're expecting them to say something else. Anyway, so should the girlfriend be charged rent? I say don't move the girlfriend in at all. Move in actual renters. Keep the girlfriend in her own home, paying her own rent. Why? There's a lot to be said of actually being quote-unquote old-fashioned, where you don't live together. You avoid conversations and arguments over stuff exactly like this. I'm super old-fashioned. I don't like women coming into my house basically at all, but I don't like any woman being in my house after dark. Now, I had that well before this whole Me Too thing broke. I knew for a fact that women will accuse you of all sorts of things under the sun if they're in your house alone after dark, right? So I have a standing policy that no woman comes in after dark. In the wintertime, they're leaving at 4 o'clock. At wintertime, they're leaving at 4 o'clock. Oh, and we're talking about, I live in an area where I'm black and they're all white. So, no, I'm not having no woman in my house, especially around here, who 99% of the time she's going to be white. Absolutely not. I wouldn't even let a woman in with her husband, whom I was asking him to get an estimate on a project that I had to fix the drywall in my house. And she could not understand that. I said, well, this is my house. I don't want you in here. You go back and do whatever you got to go do, live your life. Don't come in my house. Anyway, old-fashioned means that you would not move the girlfriend in at all. At all. Girlfriend? No. Wife? Yes. Girlfriend? No. Never. Now, I know they've made the case, because I believe that's what the women wanted. They made the case that the girlfriend should move in with you. That's a good thing before you get married. Move in together before you get married. You know if somebody's terrible before you move them in. You know that. You don't have to go through that. You should know. Now, also, you should know if you really love somebody before they move in. If you have been dating for any length of time, you already know, do you really love somebody? You don't have to move them in before you get married to them. That is some strange thinking that you need to have them physically move into your house before you can marry them. No, that's some, first of all, that's some bad thinking. I know it sounds super traditional, but it's just good thinking. Now, in this day and age, men are besought. Men are under attack. So do not give anybody any reason to ever question your integrity or your innocence. Don't ever give them the chance. So no, you don't move in the girlfriend. They don't stay over, because by law, all sorts of things, they can claim all sorts of stuff to even be able to move into your house without you even discussing any sort of you're going to move in, right? They can claim the right to renters' rights or whatever, right? And then live in your house for free for a month, and they can drag that out for a couple of months depending on where you live. That's under the law, right? I mean, right? Right? Thank you all for watching. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Like I said, it's my birthday. You can donate to me at paypal.com/Shakaama. I'm sorry, paypal.me/Shakaama. It's my birthday. You all didn't give me anything for Christmas. Well, a few of you did. And thank you all who did that. And I'd like to get a special shout out to Hans Hen, whoever you are. Thank you so much. Hans Hen is one of my subscriber patrons who pays every month. Thank you so much, Mr. Hans Hen. And I'd like to thank my other patrons. I don't have the page up right now. I'd like to thank the other ones too. Thank you so very much. I'll give you a shout out in the next video, which is going to come up in about 30 minutes or something like that. Bye-bye.